Today on Studio One, many college students like to try the latest craze. We'll tell you about an ancient way of smoking that's finding new popularity. Also, the National Association for Music Education says music leads to success in society, school, developing intelligence, and life. We'll show you how music helped heal a young girl. And we'll introduce you to a man who has no fear of bee stings. We'll spend a day in the life of a man who harvests honey.
From the University of North Dakota in Grand Forks, this is Studio One.
Hello and welcome to Studio One. I'm Monty Cashel.
And I'm Jenna Wood. Well, the Mediterranean is a popular tourist spot for many people, and one of the islands that happens to be there is Cyprus.
A lot of history down there.
Right, especially Greek mythology also. Well, we have a filmmaker on the show today who went and shot a documentary about Cyprus there.
All right. And what is it focusing the documentary on?
I know it's really about how different archaeologists approach their research methods compared to many, many years ago.
Okay,
So.
should be interesting. We'll talk to him a little bit later on the show. Also, cheating has become a problem at many universities. We'll tell you what some schools are doing to keep students honest.
Also, the terrorist attacks on 9/11 shook the entire world. Many have since been reluctant to fly. We'll tell you about a security system that has made air travel safer.
But first, here's today's news with Virginia Sticka.
Thanks, Monty and Jenna. House Speaker Dennis Hastert says he's sorry about the scandal surrounding ex-Florida Congressman Mark Foley, but he will not step down as House Leader. In a statement to reporters, Hastert said that ultimately he is responsible for everything that goes on in the Capitol building. He refused, however, to give up his leadership position over the incident. Former Representative Mark Foley suddenly resigned after it was discovered he had sent inappropriate emails to teenage pages. Many in Congress have criticized Hastert for not doing enough to deal with Foley's behavior. NATO forces have assumed command of the entire country of Afghanistan. The move comes 5 years after the U.S. invaded the country and overthrew the Taliban-led government. A special handover ceremony was held in Kabul to mark the event. About 12,000 American troops will now serve under NATO. Another 8,000 will still be operating under U.S. command. For years, people have been trying to find a quick fix for health and weight loss. And now there's another diet that has nutritionists concerned. With the Master Cleanse diet, a person goes on a special liquid diet for at least 10 days. One of the mixtures consists of water, maple syrup, cayenne pepper, and lemon juice. Another contains water and sea salt. And the final mixture is laxative teas. After completing the 10-day fast, the dieter is supposed to feel revitalized, detoxified, and free of bad weight. But most nutritionists disagree with its claim.
I don't know if there's necessarily good or bad fat to lose, but as far as a weight loss program, I would say there are much better methods or approaches to use.
Anderson says the best diet includes exercise, eating right, and getting enough sleep. Jet lag is an annoyance that plagues many travelers, but now scientists may have discovered a way to prevent it using an unexpected source. Researchers at the University of Pennsylvania are studying fruit flies to help travelers avoid jet lag. They've discovered a protein that helps fruit flies adjust to changes in light patterns which stimulate time zone shifts. They are optimistic that with more research, they will be able to apply this to the treatment of jet lag in humans. A new trend is catching on at colleges and universities in the United States. However, this activity has many health professionals concerned.
Hookah pipes have been used to smoke tobacco for centuries in the Middle East and Asia. And now hookah smoking is becoming popular for young adults in the U.S. College student Andrew Shacker introduced his friends to hookah smoking. A hookah is a water pipe. The tobacco is placed in the top of the pipe and heated with coal.
The tobacco is inhaled through here and it goes through the water, and so they think it picks up all the nasty chemicals before it goes out here.
Some people like smoking the hookah because of the different flavors of tobacco.
There's strawberry, mint, anything you can really spice up, really.
Others like it because they get to spend time with their friends.
Having a party, bust out the hookah, have some friends over.
Researchers say that hookah smoking is no better than smoking a cigarette. Hookah tobacco still contains nicotine and tar. That makes it bad for the lungs and arteries and also addictive.
There is another factor in this, is that charcoal is being used to heat the tobacco, and there's carcinogens within the charcoal.
Those risks have not stopped students like Andrew from using the hookah.
Yeah, no, it just seems cool to smoke from something so ridiculously looking, you know what I mean?
But even though it may be fun for some people, health experts still have serious concerns about hookah smoking. I'm Jessica Mojan reporting for Studio One News.
Health experts are worried that smoking hookah tobacco could lead to more young people becoming addicted to cigarettes. And that's the news for now. Monty and Jenna?
Thanks, Virginia. Well, I've noticed, at least in our area, all the leaves are changing. They're starting to fall down.
It looks really pretty, but that also means an indicator of winter, which
Yay,
I'm not very fond of.
Oh, I love winter. It's a great time.
Too cold for me. Well, we're going to head to weather, and Rob is going to tell us about the weather for the week.
Well, thanks, Monty and Jenna. Yeah, I love winter too, but right now we are experiencing some warmer conditions across most of the U.S., especially east of the Rocky Mountains, but things are going to change here eventually. Right now we're going to show you the average conditions for the upper Midwest here. 61 is your average high in Grand Forks, 63 in the Bismarck and Minneapolis, and 70 degrees down into Denver. Looking across the nation, now your average high basically in the 60s for most of the U.S. here. A couple spots still hanging on to the 80s down into the south and southwest, and 75 down into Atlanta. Well, as I was mentioning, that unseasonal warm temperatures we've been seeing here, it's actually how the jet stream has been shaping up. We have a giant ridge of high pressure all along the eastern seaboard of the U.S. in a stationary high system. And with that clockwise rotation, we're basically getting a lot of warm and moist air in from the Gulf of Mexico, and that's just drawing all the way up into the Canadian border. And basically another thing that's been helping us out here to continue with those warmer conditions is all the weather systems we have been experiencing. Normally a cold front is a little bit stronger than a warm front and will overtake a warm front and bring in that cold Canadian air. Well, that's not what we're seeing. The warm front is actually just a little bit stronger, and that cold air is not being able to filter in from Canada, and that warm front is just drawing in all that warm and moist air from the Gulf of Mexico, and people are being able to experience another week or two of summer here and getting out and enjoy those temperatures. Well, our average temperatures across the nation have been seen right around 10 to 20 degrees above normal with this warming trend, and areas in the north are actually experiencing some very strong and severe weather. Areas in southern Minnesota and northern Iowa actually saw 2.5-inch diameter hail, and that was in the early week of the first week of October. So that just kind of shows you the unpredictability of Mother Nature. Well, this warmer weather cannot continue, so we're going to see some cooler temperatures in through the northeast into the Great Lakes states, trailing down into the New Mexico and Texas area. We're going to see some warmer conditions into the upper Midwest, or excuse me, the Northwest, and we're also seeing some drier conditions up there as well, and into the Great Lakes too. We're going to see the best chance of precipitation is down to the south into Texas here. We're also seeing it into the mid-Atlantic states from Virginia all the way down into Georgia. Well, North Dakota is one of the windier states in the U.S., and we're going to ask you, where does it rank in the U.S. for potential wind energy? And you have a few answers there ranging from first, second, third, or fourth. So Monty and Jenna will have the answer to that question. A look at a typhoon out in the western Atlantic or the Pacific, and a story coming up on wind energy later on in the show.
Okay, thank you, Rob. Well, I know that we have to be in the top two at least.
You think so?
For wind, yeah.
Well,
I would say number one.
Really?
But, yeah.
Well, it does get very windy here from time to time.
It does.
So I might agree with you on that one. All right, well, let's go to Nick Johnson now with the sports news.
Thank you, Monty and Jenna. The Minnesota Twins fashioned the best home record in the majors this year, but lost Game 1 of the playoffs hosting Oakland. They would look for revenge at the Dome on Wednesday in Game 2. And we start in the bottom of the sixth with Justin Morneau up, down 2-1, but no more. An upper deck shot to deep right field, tying the game at 2. Still tied in the top of the seventh with 2 outs. Mark Kotze sends one to center. Torrey Hunter is going to go for the circus catch, but he doesn't get it. Michael Kadire has to come all the way from right field to throw the ball in. Jason Kendall scores easily from first, and Kotze going for the inside the park home run, and he's going to beat this errant throw to put the A's up 4-2. They go on to win 5-2, leading the series 2-0. Now in the National League, the Mets host the Dodgers. El Duque out with an injury, putting John Maine on the bump for New York. He's in some trouble in the top of the second with 2 men on. Russell Martin knocks one off the right field wall, but Jeff Kent gets a late start at second base, leading to a close play at the plate. And catcher Paul LaDuca gets the tag down, but wait a minute, he also gets J.D. Drew for the double play. Now in the bottom of the 7th, score tied at 4. Carlos Delgado slaps one to left field, scoring Jose Reyes, and the Mets would go on to win 6-5, taking a 1-0 lead in this series. Sports drinks can be very helpful in hydrating athletes, but recent studies have shown they can be harmful to teeth. Research done at the University of Maryland found that sports drinks can be even more damaging to teeth than tea or soda. The drinks contain other organic acids that are not found in soda that can speed up damage to the enamel. Many dentists say that if you choose sports drinks, you should consume them quickly.
Any kind of drinks, you know, the Powerades and everything, their acidity and the sugars in them, if they're taken, you know, on frequent breaks, will keep your acid levels just way too high during the day.
Dentists say people should avoid brushing immediately after consuming the drinks because it works the acids in further. They can also use a straw to keep the fluid away from the teeth. It's now time for the Studio One Sports Trivia question, and it's about postseason baseball. Who has played the most postseason games in MLB history? And we'll have the answer to that later on in the show. And that's the sports. Monty and Jenna.
Thanks, Nick. 2 co-workers compete for a special award to win a special girl. We'll preview the movie Employee of the Month later in the show.
Also, air travel security has come a long way since the infamous terrorist attacks in 2001. Surveillance may be the answer to deter unwanted activity on board an airplane. We'll tell you about a company that is contributing to safer flight.
Need to plan an entire conference? Want to provide your employees with professional training and development? The Division of Continuing Education at the University of North Dakota provides quality programs and services for career enhancement. Whether you want to attend educator workshops or need a certificate for your profession, the Division of Continuing Education can help you achieve success. Contact the Division of Continuing Education today and let us meet your professional needs.
George Bull and his partners found value in farina, the whitest part of wheat, and created cream of wheat. Patrick Haggerty founded Texas Instruments and helped it become one of the nation's high-tech giants. Raymond Rood is responsible for the modern diving board. His diving boards have been used in every Olympic competition since 1960. Chris Moen and Marlene Schott launched their food company through the UND Entrepreneurship Program. Will yours be next?
The University of North Dakota Foundation prepares students for the future. Through technology and scholarship contributions and other types of support, the UND Foundation can give students an outstanding educational experience. Help continue the traditions of academic and athletic excellence. Make a difference at the University of North Dakota by donating to the UND Foundation.
The University of North Dakota Graduate School offers unique opportunities for students who love to keep their eyes on the skies. Atmospheric science students are using advanced radar to see what's happening deep inside the clouds. Students and professors in our Space Studies program are helping to shape the future of interplanetary travel. Major projects include designing and testing a spacesuit for the mission to Mars. Reach for the skies and beyond with a graduate degree from the University of North Dakota.
There's a place where American Indian culture is celebrated, where helping others is a priority and encouragement is abundant. At American Indian Student Services, our goal is retention and graduation of American Indian students. The American Indian Center is a home away from home, where students can find state-of-the-art technology and a friendly face willing to help. Contact American Indian Student Services at 1-800-CALL-UND.
You're watching Studio One, twice named the best college television show in the nation by the National Association of College Broadcasters.
In the aftermath of the terrorist attacks of 9/11, airlines knew they had to increase security. Since then, many technologies have made air travel safer. President of Goodrich's Sensor Systems Division, Brian Gora, will tell us about the cockpit video surveillance systems that his company makes. Thanks for coming on the show today, Brian.
Thanks for having me.
Well, first of all, when you hear Goodrich, you think tires. Is tires still part of the company?
It's not. That's a common misconception. We sold the tire business to Michelin in the late 80s. Now, we do license the name BF Goodrich to Michelin, so you can still buy BF Goodrich tires, but they're made by the Michelin company.
Okay. And now your company is primarily in aviation products.
We are.
Tell us about some of the products that you're working on right now.
We've got a number of products that came out after the September 11th attacks, and a couple of them I'll talk about briefly. Is we have a system called Health and Usage Monitoring or Management System, which we put on Black Hawk helicopters and other military equipment to help them monitor the systems on those aircraft. So when they come back from a mission, they can see how did the aircraft perform, and it allows them to extend the maintenance cycles and to know a whole lot more about the systems. We also make systems that help protect perimeters of buildings. We call it a laser perimeter awareness system, and we can detect movement of people or things outside of a building and then alert the people inside.
Okay.
We also make a cockpit or a cabin video surveillance system.
And that's what I mentioned in the introduction. Let's talk about that system a little bit. Are there other systems like that out there?
There are. There's a number of different competitors in the marketplace that provide that today, but we have the largest market share.
Okay. Why start making this type of a system?
Well, after 9/11, the airlines came to the major aircraft manufacturers and they asked for two things. They said, first, we want hardened cockpit doors. So we want a cockpit door that makes it very difficult for people to enter unless we want them in there. And they said we also want a video system to be able to see what's going on outside the cockpit door so that we can determine if there's some sort of a threat to the cockpit and to the pilot. So after that happened, Airbus was one of the companies, and they came to us and said, can you provide such a system? And so very quickly we put together a prototype in just a few months after September 11th, convinced them that we had the capability to do that, and then in early 2002 started delivering the system.
What makes this system different?
Well, a number of different things. First of all, our cameras can see in zero light. So no matter what the light conditions are in the aircraft, we have the ability to see in normal light or in infrared. We also have a display system that can be customized to the cockpit depending on what the airline or the pilot wants. And so it can be in the back or in the front or right up on the panel. And we have the ability to scroll through the different cameras so that you can say, if I look at one or two or different, three different cameras.
Okay. How exactly does it work?
Well, it would be very similar to a camera system you'd see in a building, some sort of a security system. It's just a camera that they're actually hidden in different parts of the aircraft, and they can be they're monitoring what's going on. The video is then fed to a computer where it's stored, and then during the flight the pilot can select which camera they want to look at and monitor what's going on. They can also then take that feed afterwards and review the tapes or review the discs afterwards to see what happened.
And the main goal, is it simply security?
It's really just security to allow the pilot in real time to see what's happening outside the cockpit door, and also now we're starting to put them into the cargo area and also into other parts of the cabin.
Okay. Was this specifically designed for to deter terrorists? I mean, are you putting them in places where I guess you think terrorists might attack and that sort of thing?
Well, that's a great question. I don't know that they're specifically there to deter terrorists. They're there to monitor activity. And so they're hidden in parts of the aircraft that, not to, I guess primarily so you don't know where they are, that way you can't disable them or cover them up or, put some tape or something over them. So it's to allow the crew really to see what's going on.
Right, and you say that they're hidden in different places, but a plane is a public place, and would it be fair to compare it to walking up to an ATM and not knowing that there's a camera on you while you're punching in your number?
Absolutely,
okay.
Same kind of thing.
Pilots have a busy workload already. They're sitting in the front with all these instruments around them. Is it expected that they're going to add this to all the different things they're doing as well?
Well, I think the real issue for the pilot is it's just another piece of information, and they've got lots of things that they look at. And as a former pilot, you're scanning a number of different instruments and different displays in the cockpit and choosing the information that you're going to focus on or not focus on and just use as another source. And that's what this is. So the way the displays are placed in the cockpit, it's not intrusive to the flight deck in terms of the actual piloting of the aircraft, but it's another piece of information available to them if they have a concern or if they just want to check things out.
Okay, it sounds like a very good product. How common is it? Is it out there now?
It's out there now. We've delivered almost 3,000 systems worldwide. Most of the systems were delivered to international aircraft and European airlines because there was a mandate in some countries in Europe that they had to have some sort of a system. But it's pretty common in companies like British Airways, for example, was our first customer. A company like Virgin Atlantic, Japan Airlines, folks like that.
Okay. How long ago did they start implementing them into their aircraft?
It was basically the middle of 2002 and then since then.
Okay. Well, since you put them in, have there been success stories with the systems?
Well, and success in that, certainly they work as advertised, and so people can view them. In terms of, did they see something and make a deterrence? I don't know. Although, you see on the news a lot where this aircraft was diverted to such and such because they were concerned. Whether or not our system played a part, we're not aware of that.
Yeah. Well, for you personally, Brian, working on these systems, this technology that's always evolving, what is that like for you?
Well, I think it's very exciting. I mean, the Goodrich Corporation is founded now on innovation and new products and always looking to bring new technologies to the marketplace. And so as a part of Sensor Systems and a part of the company, it's exciting to be involved in things not only that are new and different, but also things that are making aircraft safer.
All right. Well, thanks so much for your work. You're making the airways safer, and thanks for coming on our show today.
Thanks for having me.
All right. Well, coming up, filmmakers typically work on movies, music videos, and commercials. One filmmaker decided to make a documentary about archaeologists and students researching in Cyprus. We'll talk to him later in the show. Also, many people use honey to sweeten food or as a name for a loved one. But there are only a few who can claim to use honey as a source of income. Later, we'll spend a day in the life of a beekeeper.
Studio One closed captioning is underwritten in part by Options, your disability information source.
Earn a degree in engineering while you continue to work. The University of North Dakota's Distance Engineering degree program offers the only ABET accredited undergraduate degree program at a distance. Instructors and classes are delivered to you through online lectures and condensed on-campus laboratories.
It's convenient, it's flexible, and it's a quality education.
UND Continuing Education and the School of Engineering and Mines, teaming up to bring quality education to your door.
Wall Street has come to the prairie through the A. Kirk Lanterman Investment Center at the University of North Dakota. This state-of-the-art facility in the College of Business and Public Administration provides hands-on experience in the world of modern finance. Students learn how financial markets react with lightning quickness to world events. They use cutting-edge technology and real-time data from more than 200 financial markets around the world. The Lanterman Investment Center provides the tools to make a career out of an education.
Let the University of North Dakota become your partner by providing your business with services to enhance your workforce. The UND Office of Workforce Development has extensive experience conducting employee satisfaction research, strategic planning, focus groups, and grant development. Call us for further information. Workforce Development, a service of the Division of Continuing Education at the University of North Dakota.
Need to plan an entire conference? Want to provide your employees with professional training and development? The Division of Continuing Education at the University of North Dakota provides quality programs and services for career enhancement. Whether you want to attend educator workshops or need a certificate for your profession, the Division of Continuing Education can help you achieve success. Contact the Division of Continuing Education today and let us meet your professional needs.
Motivation at your job can come in many forms. In the new movie Employee of the Month, one man gets his drive for greatness from the presence of a beautiful checkout girl in his workplace. Dane Cook plays Zach, an underachiever working for a buy-in-bulk superstore. He works alongside Vince, a slimy cashier played by Dax Shepard. When both men fall for the new cashier, they compete for the Employee of the Month to win her heart. Cook says he enjoyed working on the film because the director encouraged the cast to be creative.
Improv is only great when you know the structure is great, I used to, Eddie Murphy used to say, oh, I do all these movies and I improvise, but if it's not on the page first, I'm nothing. I don't know where I'm going with it.
This is comedian Dane Cook's first leading role in a film. Director Greg Coolidge says the cast had great chemistry because they all knew each other off the set. Employee of the Month opens in theaters on October 6th. Now it's time to look at the events happening in your area. honey can mean several things. It can be a sweetener to food, a health product, or used to describe a loved one. But for one man, honey is the main part of his job description.
Everyone knows honey comes from bees, but what most people don't know is how the honey gets from here to here. Beekeeper Kelly Gustafson says North Dakota honey starts a little further south.
We ship them from California to Texas. We spread them all out around the countryside.
It's fall and Kelly is preparing the honey for harvest. Everything has to be done by hand, so Kelly must be prepared as well.
Looks a little goofy, but it's a lot better than getting your face stung.
At this point, the bees can make the job a real pain.
Anywhere from 0 to 5 on a good day, and bad days, I've had really bad days where it's been probably 50 or better. Ouch. It's like getting beat up at school. Is you just know you don't want to go back to that yard again because you know they're going to be like that the next time. You know the job doesn't get done if you don't go back.
But Kelly has gone back, actually for the last 5 years. Kelly has kept beekeeping because most of the time he says his job is pretty sweet.
I've always liked to learn new things, and it's in stages, so it's not the same thing every day.
Today, Kelly is making sure the honey flats are prepared, scraped, and then the honey is extracted. The honey is cleaned and then packed for shipping. The bees are kept busy by making honey, while Kelly keeps busy by keeping the honey coming. Reporting for Studio One, I'm Suzanne Schmidt.
The average person eats 10 to 11 pounds of honey per year. Kelly will be leaving the honey farm, though, this year to pursue a welding degree. Coming up, music courses are part of many schools' curriculums. In our Studio One Spotlight story, we'll tell you about a special music program that helps children develop skills early in life. That's story plus news, sports, and weather in the next half hour of Studio One.
Yes, come on. My tuition. It is very cute, very cuddly. I can give you 2 for 1. 2 for 1.
Bad idea.
How about 3 for 1?
That's a really bad business idea.
The School of Engineering and Mines at UND has a long history of preparing students for successful careers. Through small classes and faculty involvement, students have unique opportunities to gain hands-on experience. Here, students launch a weather balloon to test a remote imaging device destined for Earth orbit. Students can also become involved in wind energy and fuel cell projects, design, build, and race a Formula One car, or even develop a camera that will generate agricultural images from the International Space Station. Find out for yourself how you can get involved at UND School of Engineering and Mines.
Do you need a flexible way to earn your degree? The University of North Dakota's Degrees After Hours program is designed to work around your full-time schedule. Whether you've got a family, a full-time job, or both, the Degrees After Hours program offers you flexible alternatives. You can earn a degree or take courses online through video conferencing and in the evenings or on weekends. UND's Degrees After Hours program fits your needs, your schedule, and your goals. Contact UND today.
This can happen.
Excuse me, can I get a ride?
What?
My car broke down. Can I get a ride?
No, I can't help you.
Look, it's just a ride.
No, step back.
Get in the car!
No!
Women can defend themselves. To learn more about Impact U or to enroll in a class, call the UND Women's Center.
From the University of North Dakota in Grand Forks, this is Studio One.
Welcome back to Studio One.
Thanks for joining us today. Jenna, do you have a cell phone?
Yes, I do.
I'm sure you do.
And I use it a lot.
A lot of people use cell phones, and even kids have them now. Teenagers.
Like little kids.
Yeah, you can't find a college student without a cell phone attached to their ear. And actually there was a study done saying that there's addictive behaviors now with cell phones.
I believe it.
I believe it too. And we're going to find out. We went on campus and asked some students whether they thought they were addicted to their cell phone. That and more coming up in the next 30 minutes on Studio One. Also, many college students turn to cheating to help them make their grade. We'll hear how some schools have created a new grade to penalize them.
Also, music has the power to do many things. We'll show you a class designed to introduce music to young children to help them develop.
And many people may think that some documentaries could be long, boring, and what they have to watch in a classroom setting. One man tells his experience about filming a more real-life documentary that has an entertaining appeal. But first, here's today's news with Virginia Sticka.
Thanks, Monty and Jenna. 4 of the 5 girls killed in the Amish school shooting in Nickel Mines, Pennsylvania, have been laid to rest. The gunman Charles Carl Roberts IV shot 10 girls and then himself as police charged into the schoolhouse. Families of the girls who were killed are holding traditional Amish funerals in their homes before the burials. Some members of the Amish community have extended their forgiveness to Roberts' family and hope they stay in the community. 5 of the 10 girls continue to be hospitalized. 3 are in critical condition and 2 in serious condition. An estimated 330 pounds of cocaine have been seized from 2 British citizens in South Africa. The cocaine was found in a storage warehouse and was packed in blocks and hidden between mirrors. According to police, the estimated street value of the drugs is more than $6 million. Police say the suspects could be connected to an international drug ring. Advances in technology are enabling cell phones to be used for multiple things. They're equipped with everything from television to internet, and soon, even advertising. A new marketing tactic would allow companies to send ads through text messages. While many companies feel this is a big opportunity, some consumers say the marketing messages would not be welcome in their inbox.
I guess to me, just random advertisements aren't important enough to be used as text messages, and I generally wouldn't pay attention to them very much.
The U.S. is not using text advertising yet due to variations in cell phone networks. Plans are still being made concerning the cost of the service, and many companies are hoping to pay for the messages so their customers don't have to. The days of a whole family gathering around the TV together is becoming a rare occurrence. A new study done by Nielsen Media Research shows that the average American household now has more TV sets than people. The average home has 2.7 televisions and only 2.5 people. This is a big jump from 1975, when nearly 60% of homes only had 1 television. Nielsen attributes this jump to the rise in flat-screen TVs, which allow homeowners to place them all over the house. College students are going to further lengths to earn the much-desired A. Some universities are finding a new way to punish students who go too far.
Academic honesty is a priority on campuses across the country. Since cheating has become so common, a new punishment has been created that allows some students to earn a grade that is worse than an F. A few universities are giving out a letter grade of XF to students who are caught cheating. The University of North Dakota does not have a special grade for cheaters, and some here believe that it would take more than that to prevent it.
Assigning a special grade on the transcript is one approach and one of perhaps multiple approaches that could be used to overall deter cheating.
According to the Center for Academic Integrity, at most universities, 70% of the students admit to occasional cheating. Some students agree that a special grade could reduce this.
I think it would help. I don't think it would wipe it out completely, because you're still always going to have somebody that's going to do it.
Some school administrators say when it comes to cheating, prevention is a better approach.
My preference is to do those things which discourage that kind of behavior rather than focusing too much or exclusively on the penalties.
But if the idea catches on, the XF grade could become an extra way to stop students from taking the easy way out. I'm Stephanie Flieger, reporting for Studio One News.
At some universities, the student can petition for the X to be removed from the transcript, but the F stays. And that's the news for now. Monty and Jenna?
Thanks a lot, Virginia. Well, it could all be avoided if you just studied, right?
Yeah, right. Especially, yeah, people always come up with some kind of excuse, though.
Trying to get the easy way out.
Right. But we're going to go back to weather, and Rob is going to tell us about a typhoon and the damage that it created.
Well, thanks, Monty and Jenny. We're going to show you the effects of Typhoon Changsan out in the Western Pacific. It made landfall as a tropical storm back on September 27th in the island of Samar, Philippines. It closed down several seaports there. It finally made official landfall as a typhoon on October 1st near Hoi, Vietnam. Many trees and homes were destroyed there, and the 100-mile-an-hour winds that battered the area didn't help that out any. Heavy rains caused mudslides and washout roads all across both countries. Many lives were lost, and some people are still missing in both the Philippines and Vietnam. And I'll just kind of show you the track that this storm took. It started out into the Pacific Ocean, went just south of Manila, Philippines, tracked all the way across the South China Sea, and right now is affecting the country of Vietnam, which is just south of Hanoi, Vietnam, which is the capital of that country. And going to something a little bit more local here, North Dakota is known as an agricultural state and has very favorable conditions to grow crops. These same conditions have the potential to power your home.
Windy and wide open spaces in northeastern North Dakota have long been used for growing wheat, corn, and soybeans. New technology in the form of turbines has allowed farmers to harvest a new resource. Wind energy has grown in popularity over the last decade, and companies are searching for the ideal location to harness the power of the wind.
Ideally, we want good, strong winds, of course. We do have to look at temperature. We do have to look at conditions for icing. Very cold weather, we have to shut down turbines.
Recent studies have shown that the central and northern Great Plains have ideal conditions for capturing wind energy.
If you were to take all the power possible out of North Dakota, South Dakota, part of Montana, and Minnesota, you would have enough power to power the entire United States for a year.
Climate conditions need to be right to have a successful wind farm. North Dakota has the ideal climate for wind and tops the nation for wind energy potential. I'm Matt Benz reporting for Studio One Weather.
An increase in average wind speed from 9 to 11 miles per hour will nearly double the energy output of a wind turbine. We kind of ask you where North Dakota ranks in the U.S. for potential wind energy across the nation, and your answer is A, first, and that's with over 1,200 billion kilowatt hours annually, which actually adds up to roughly 1/3 of the U.S. energy consumption in the continental U.S. Monty and Jenna?
Great, thank you, Rob. Wow, we think we have a little bit more wind turbines, but
well,
I suppose they're expensive.
They're expensive. Hopefully they start popping up
and
more.
They provide a lot of energy anyway.
Yeah.
So.
But way to go, North Dakota. You got wind.
Good for something.
Yeah. All right, well, let's go to sports again with Nick Johnson.
Thank you, Monty and Jenna. Now that summer is over, people are hitting the fitness centers to stay in shape, and some facilities are using high-tech equipment to create a more enjoyable atmosphere.
At first glance, this may look like a typical cycling room at most fitness clubs, but this room uses technology to make spin classes more entertaining. Students here at the University of North Dakota have access to these new advancements at their new Wellness Center facility.
We'll start off by doing 3 different climbs.
Spin class instructor Jason Lopke says these new high-tech additions enhance his spin class.
I think it's going to be a lot more popular. I think people will be very interested in coming here, just because of how much we do have to offer at this room versus the other rooms in the past where it was not much technology.
This spin room offers participants a club-like atmosphere as a motivation tool for their class. But that is not all this room has to offer.
My favorite part is the video screen. We are able to show movies all the time. The sound is excellent with videos. The video screen itself is larger than me.
This projector can show different scenic images and even takes participants on a race with Lance Armstrong in the Tour de France. Spinners ride along with Armstrong as a way to stay motivated throughout the class.
I really like the TV screen. It kind of gives you something to look at, and the music is really nice. It's just kind of a fun atmosphere. You don't feel necessarily like you're working out so much.
The kind of darkness and loud music and everything really pumps you up, gives you energy and endurance, and I guess pushes you to work harder.
And with high-tech features to this spin class, these participants are finding it easier to achieve their fitness goals. This is Lindsay Corbo reporting for Studio One Sports.
Since UND opened the new spin room, nearly every class has been full. Now the answer to this week's Studio One Sports trivia question: who has played in the most postseason games in MLB history? And the answer is B, the captain, Derek Jeter, who has played in 116 games and counting. And that's the sports. Monty and Jenna?
Thanks, Nick. Music means different things to many people. One woman shows her love of music in her workplace, her home, and even her yard.
And music also has the power to heal. We'll tell you the story of a young girl who struggled with seizures. She took back control of her body with the help of melodies.
When you graduate from college, what will you be able to offer an employer?
Well, I'm a really good people person.
I really love working with people.
I'm very, very motivated.
I'm a great people person.
I am really motivated.
Offer an employer something more. At the University of North Dakota Career Services Center, we can help you get the competitive edge you need. Stop in or check us out, UND Career Services, empowering students to realize their dreams.
Did I mention I'm great with people?
This can happen.
Excuse me, can I get a ride?
What?
My car broke down. Can I get a ride?
No, I can't help you.
Look, it's just a ride.
No, step back.
Get in the car!
No!
Women can defend themselves. To learn more about Impact U or to enroll in a class, call the UND Women's Center.
Let the University of North Dakota become your partner by providing your business with services to enhance your workforce. The UND Office of Workforce Development has extensive experience conducting employee satisfaction research, strategic planning, focus groups, and grant development. Call us for further information. Workforce Development, a service of the Division of Continuing Education at the University of North Dakota.
Studio One from the University of North Dakota in Grand Forks.
The season for Midwest gardeners is coming to a close. One woman in Grand Forks, North Dakota, however, can rest assured that in any season, her yard will look dynamic.
The sun is shining as the leaves fall on this sunny October day. And though her flowers sustain beautifully against the chill, Castle Everson is famous in this area for her other lawn decor.
Everybody's got something to say. Oh, you're the one that has all that stuff in your yard.
Though Castle's lawn is accented by traditional decorations, she's known for more than just her actual flower bed.
I've seen other beds around. You know, I've got a little bed frame over there. I've seen other beds around, but I haven't seen a whole lot of other musical gardens.
Castle's garden got its start when she and fellow area band directors decided to throw out instruments that were no longer playable.
I ended up the proud owner of those tuba bells, and it just has kind of gone from there. So anytime anybody's got anything that is going to be thrown away, they ask me first if I want to plant it. I don't like it to be too organized and formal. Now maybe people don't notice the weeds if there's something else to look at.
After the tuba bells became the root to her theme, Castle obtained pieces of a trombone, a clarinet, an alto clarinet, a 3/4 string bass, a cymbal, and a Barry saxophone.
Oh, and the timpani bowl. There is the bowl of a timpani over there.
Castle attended college to direct music, but also has great fun arranging it in her own way. Even though the pads have fallen off the woodwinds and the brass has lost its shine, Castle grows a garden that is a perfect accompaniment to any of the 4 seasons. This is Amanda Nelson reporting for Studio One.
Castle teaches band at 3 schools in the Grand Forks area. She's taught 5th, 6th, and 7th graders for about 25 years. A recent survey in England shows that people may be too attached to their cell phones. This study looked at students' phone use to see whether they showed signs of addiction. Almost all of the students questioned said they took the phones everywhere with them. We asked a group of college students what they thought about their own cell phone use.
When I go back home, I'm on it probably a couple hours a day. So yeah, I would say I'm addicted under the circumstances, yes.
I would say that I am addicted to my cell phone, considering I don't have a landline phone.
I would definitely say I'm not addicted,
but I use it very frequently.
Oh, I think so. It's because I worry about it if I leave it somewhere, if I think that I lost it or something. Yeah, absolutely.
I use my phone a lot. I have it everywhere I go and with me all the time, and I think if anybody was trying to call me, I would have it. So I probably am addicted.
No, it's my only form of communication that I have, so I may be on a lot because that's the only thing I have.
I have 2 cell phones. I have one that I brought from Norway that I used to call my parents and my friends at home, and then I have one that I got here.
Learning about music usually happens when kids start school, but at one place, kids are able to learn music before they can even walk.
At the end, you know it's like the dancing, the gleeful banging on instruments, and of course, the singing. These happy-go-lucky kids are here for a specific purpose.
Build the child as a whole, not trying to make a brain baby or anything, but if that happens, so be it.
With as much fun as they're having, these tots have no clue how much they're actually learning.
You can't replace this. It's priceless. And the times, my children love it so very much. They just can't wait for every week to go to kinder music.
Every child may have the chance to be a part of this experience. Discounts are given according to parents' income level. Robin Reveland has been the ringleader of these ever-changing prancing performers for almost a decade, but she has her own personal reasons for being so involved.
When I saw all that it could do for my child, I guess, as it was probably about 20, just about 20 years ago, not quite. She had some brain damage on one side of the brain from seizures.
Robin decided to get her daughter Ashley involved with piano lessons. It was recommended to help her strengthen the left side of her body. Ashley honed her skills on the piano so well, she now shares her knowledge with others.
You practice your hand position a lot. I want that thumb to be underneath.
To tell you the truth, I really didn't like it at first because, it was more like homework.
Her epileptic seizures have since become a passing memory.
More of the music part of it is the fact that I actually can use the left side of my body better. My mom actually was very concerned that I would never be able to drive. I wouldn't be able to do the things that a normal teenager would.
Music has helped her regain control of not only her body, but her life. Ashley is now a full-time college student pursuing a career in elementary education. It is said music is medicine of the mind. In the Reveland home, an overdose of music is impossible. Robin says keeping music a part of their lives constantly will remind them of its rewards. I'm Dina Davis reporting for Studio One.
Kinder Music is an international program. You can check your local music store for more information. Cyprus is a popular tourist spot in the Mediterranean. It is also the historical home of Aphrodite, the Greek goddess of love. Our next guest had a special purpose for visiting this sunny island.
Studio One closed captioning is underwritten in part by University of North Dakota Student Government.
The College of Business and Public Administration at the University of North Dakota is proud to announce the Page Family Marketing Center. A gift from alumni Greg and Cindy Page, this center promises real-world experiences as students begin careers in marketing. The center includes a specially designed conference room for focus group research. An adjacent lab offers real-time access to software and data for marketing decisions. The Page Family Marketing Center, your next step in marketing.
Earn a degree in engineering while you continue to work. The University of North Dakota's Distance Engineering degree program offers the only ABET accredited undergraduate degree program at a distance. Instructors and classes are delivered to you through online lectures and condensed on-campus laboratories.
It's convenient, it's flexible, and it's a quality education.
UND Continuing Education and the School of Engineering and Mines, teaming up to bring quality education to your door.
there's a place where American Indian culture is celebrated, where helping others is a priority and encouragement is abundant. At American Indian Student Services, our goal is retention and graduation of American Indian students. The American Indian Center is a home away from home, where students can find state-of-the-art technology and a friendly face willing to help. Contact American Indian Student Services at 1-800-CALL-UND.
No matter what your schedule, no matter when you work, no matter what job you have now, this is your opportunity to accomplish your goals. Degrees After Hours at the University of North Dakota can work around your busy schedule. Bachelor and master's degrees are earned through convenient, flexible, and high-quality classes. Complete degrees are available online through correspondence study and on weekends and evenings. Earn a degree on your terms with Degrees After Hours at the University of North Dakota.
Archaeologists have studied the history, people, and artifacts of Cyprus for years. A documentary titled Survey of Cyprus portrays the life of modern archaeologists and their quest for new discoveries in Cyprus. Joe Patro is the filmmaker who helped produce the documentary. Thank you very much for being here today.
Thanks for having me.
How did you first get started in the film industry?
Well, as far as the industry itself goes, I would say that my first salvo into it was while I was a student at Bemidji State University, and I was helping over there on their PBS station, and then from there kept doing more work in the field and shooting independent films, did film school, and then went from there.
Okay. And what kinds of video and film work have you done?
Well, aside from the things that I did here independently, small shoots in Minnesota, I also now work in Los Angeles. I do music videos and commercials. I'm a cameraman to an extent, but also a digital field recorder technician, which means that we work with a lot of the new digital cameras. And so as they're coming out into the world of film and starting to give traditional film a run for its money, we go out with them and make sure that the more traditional filmmakers know how to operate them.
Okay, now this documentary you did is really different compared to the other works that you have done. What did you do? How did you decide to do a documentary on Cyprus?
Well, what happened was I was a graduate teaching assistant in the Department of History here at UND, and one day I was meeting with Dr. Kerher, who was doing a class on late antiquity. He said, "Oh, you're a filmmaker. Would you be interested in maybe joining us on Cyprus and doing some shooting over there?" I was like, "Yeah, absolutely. I'm not much of a documentarian. Most of my work is narrative, but I'd absolutely be interested in giving it a shot if we can raise the funds."
So this is the first documentary you've done. What kinds of obstacles did you face, especially, I mean, you've never been over there before. What did you face that was a challenge?
Well, one of the things, aside from just raising the budget necessary, we didn't have a very large budget. A lot of the equipment was mine, so we lucked out there. But yeah, it was a budgetary issue, and also I found that I mean, there was some communication issues on Cyprus with the people who lived there. Not that great. It was originally a British protectorate. Still a lot of British bases there. Getting the verification, or getting the okay rather, to shoot there posed a slight problem. Not a huge problem, but we did have to work with the Cypriot government to get their okay, the Larnaca Museum of Antiquities, which the archaeologists were working through, and also the British Ministry of Defense, because the site is actually located on a British military base.
How different was it shooting a documentary then compared to your other work that you've done before?
Well, a documentary is really run and gun. You can prepare for it only so much, and then when you're on site, the weather and the people and where they go will sort of determine where you're going to shoot. Whereas, of course, if you're shooting in a studio location, as we do, of course, in LA, well, everything's set for you. Your crew is ready. You have a schedule, an assistant director to make sure everybody's in place, and then you go until you're done.
How long did this project take? It seemed like it would take a long time, but...
Yeah, the project itself began in October of 2004 when Dr. Kerher approached me about it, and then we didn't go to Cyprus until that summer in June. And then when we returned, it was editing it and then working with our narrator and the person doing our music, our score. That took a little while because just the time that it required for them to, well, mainly with the score was the real length. I was able to edit it fairly quickly, but we still had a lot of footage, 10 hours worth.
And what was the focus of doing this documentary? Just them working? I mean, what was your goal behind it?
It was highly methodological. So what we were really centering on was how they actually did their job in the field. How did it, survey archaeology is something that happens all on the surface. You don't actually do excavation, and so we wanted to show how that differed from traditional excavation archaeological digs, and also mainly, you know, how could we use this sort of as a classroom tool, get it into the classrooms for students, not only at UND but elsewhere. And finally, we really wanted to show a record of what their work was, so other archaeologists could see it.
How do you feel that this is different from other documentaries?
We might have made it a little bit more reality TV-like, in that we tried to add a lot more humor into it, catch the idiosyncrasies of the people involved in the project, where they made mistakes, for example, where they had humor, where things weren't working for them and how they reacted, so as to give a more well-rounded interpretation of the overall expedition, as opposed to just, this is how it's done in talking heads. We have those too, but we also wanted to show sort of a behind-the-scenes feel.
Is there anything that you learned about yourself during the whole process?
One is, at the time I was debating whether or not I wanted to move out to Los Angeles, and one sort of humorous thing I realized was that I could deal with the heat. I'm a northern Minnesotan, I love the snow, but we were shooting out there in 120 degrees, and I was like, I can do this, I can take it, so I should have no problem in LA, and thank goodness, because we've shot out there in the same heat. It's a very similar climate.
Wow, it sounds like a really exciting field. Are you finished with the project, or are you going to be continuing to work more?
Well, this documentary is sort of a preliminary project, a preliminary piece, which we hope will bring us to another level to increase the production value of the project. So we're hoping that we'll be able to raise awareness and market it, get into classrooms, see what people think, get it on a few television stations, and then and from there, the sky's the limit. We hope to go up and follow these archaeologists for the next couple of years and go back.
Well, it sounds like some really good work that you're doing. It sounds interesting, exciting. So thank you very much for being here today.
Thank you.
You're watching Studio One from the University of North Dakota. We'll be right back after this.
When you graduate from college, what will you be able to offer an employer?
Well, I love working with people.
I'm a people person.
I consider myself to be highly motivated.
I'm a real self-starter.
Offer an employer something more. At the University of North Dakota Career Services Center, we can help you get the competitive edge you need. Stop in or check us out, UND Career Services, empowering students to realize their dreams.
I can offer you much more than just good people skills.
You're hired. Remember the friendships, the school pride, the hair? Stay connected to your college years through the University of North Dakota Alumni Association. Participate in homecoming events, class reunions, or career networking opportunities. Create new memories and relive some of the old ones. Check out how you can stay connected to your alma mater through the UND Alumni Association. Become a leader in healthcare with a graduate degree from the University of North Dakota. The Graduate School at UND offers degree programs and advanced practice certificate programs in the allied health professions and nursing. Our faculty give you the individual attention you need to help you attain your career goals. Distance programs for practicing professionals allow you to pursue graduate studies without interrupting your career. Contact the UND Graduate School today.
Yes, come on. My tuition. It is very cute, very cuddly. I can give you 2 for 1. 2 for 1.
Bad idea.
How about 3 for 1?
That's a really bad business idea.
The School of Engineering and Mines at UND offers students exceptional learning opportunities. Undergraduates are helping faculty design and build unmanned aerial vehicles to test remote imaging devices. They're also converting wind energy into hydrogen. Geological science students are contributing to environmental research. Extracurricular activities include designing, building, and racing a fuel cell car. Make the most of your college experience at UND's School of Engineering and Mines.
Tune in next week on Studio One. Tradition runs deeply for nearly every culture. We'll see how a group of Tibetan monks observe tradition as they introduce it to a culture that thrives on all things modern. Plus, we'll have other news and entertainment stories for you.
We're going to leave you now with a bit of a preview of that story about the Tibetan monks. From all of us here at Studio One, have a great week.